In this video, we will be looking at the first of a four-part series on breaking down the order of operations. By the end of this video, you should be able to answer the following questions. Why do we have an order of operations? What are the order of operations? And how do I evaluate a numerical expression using the order of operations? Before I go any further, I want to discuss some of the vocabulary here. Order of operations we will get to in a moment, but evaluate means, and this is from question number 3, evaluate means to find an answer. When you evaluate, the answer is going to be a number. Okay, so we're trying to find a number. And then the second expression or phrase I want to discuss is numerical expression. A numerical expression is like a problem, a math problem that has only numbers in it. Okay, so we're going to try to find an answer to a problem that has only numbers in it. All right, so let's take a look at this huge problem. Okay, now on a test, if you follow the correct order of operations, you can get this problem right. If you don't follow the order of operations correctly, you're probably going to get it wrong, or at least part of it wrong. So why do we have an order of operations? It's to make sure that everyone gets the same answer to each problem. Okay, now a test question or a homework problem like this is not a big deal, right? Okay, you might get some wrong, you might get some right. Hopefully you get more right than wrong, but you know, in the end, it's just a math problem. However, here's a formula. Okay, a lot of operations, a lot of math needs to be done to figure out, in this case, how much interest I can earn if I put some money in the bank, right? So here's where the order of operations really can have some serious consequences. If I go to one bank and they've used their own order of operations and tell me that I can get $20 of interest if I put my money in their bank, all right, that's pretty good. But if a different bank down the street offers someone else who puts the same amount of money in, a larger amount, like $6,000 in interest, that's not really fair to me. So we want to make sure that when people are calculating mathematical, numerical expressions, that we do it the same way and we get the same answer. That way it makes it fair for everyone. Okay, so to answer that first question, an order of operations will ensure that everyone gets the same answer to every problem. Okay, all right, let's take a look at what the order of operations are. So many of you have heard of PEMDAS, the first letters of the order of operations, PEMDAS. I'm not a big fan of PEMDAS because I don't feel like it's accurate. I do agree, however, that parentheses are first, okay? And included with parentheses are grouping symbols. Most often that's going to be parentheses or brackets, okay? You'll see here we have parentheses. Here I have a set of brackets. Those are the most common grouping symbols you're going to see. When you have to do the parentheses step, you're going to do operations that are inside of those parentheses or brackets. Okay, not next to, not in front of, but inside. The second step in the order of operation is exponents. Okay, an exponent is when you have a number, which is called a base, raised up to a little number like that. What this means, a base, which is 4, is the number you're going to multiply. The exponent tells you how many times to multiply it. So 4 to the second power means 4 times 4. If I did 5 to the third power, that would mean 5 multiplied by itself 3 times. Okay, so that's what exponents are, and that's the second step in the order of operations. Now I start to disagree with PEMDAS right here in the third step. The M and the D are not in that specific order. All right, multiply and divide occur from left to right, and that means you have to do whatever comes first. All right, so as you work through your problem from left to right, if division comes first, you do division. If multiply comes next, you do multiplication. But you have to go from left to right and do whatever comes first. Similarly, our step 4 is add and subtract. Not in that order necessarily, but from left to right, whatever comes first. So I've got add and subtract in green because that's the step that we're going to focus on in part 1. All right, we're just going to look at an order of operations problems that include adding and subtracting. Here are some examples that I want to work through with you, and we'll take a look at these and then give you an opportunity to work on some on your own. So here we have a combination of adding and subtracting. Now if we look at that step 4, okay, you have to go from left to right and do whatever comes first. So if I look at negative 4 plus 3, all right, I can do my good guys, bad guys. 4 negatives and 3 positives means I'm going to have a negative 1. The minus and the negative 9, I'm going to write out. As well as the rest of the problem. So now the minus and the negative, I look at that and I add the opposite, and now I have a negative 1 plus 9. So if I have 1 bad guy and 9 good guys, that means the 1 bad guy is going to take out one of my good guys, and I'm going to have 8 good guys left. And I'm going to write out the rest of the problem. Okay? The next part from left to right is 8 minus 2. 8 minus 2 is 6. And the only part I have left from the rest of my problem is the plus 11. And 6 plus 11 is 17. So that would be my final answer. If we would check that with a calculator, which I strongly suggest, we will get a 17. I want to show you another way that I look at doing these problems. Okay? The first one, I went from left to right, did one step at a time. Once you get to this adding and subtracting step, some of you might prefer to add all your positives together, get all your good guys in a group, get all your bad guys in a group. Okay? And then from there, figure out what you have left. So if I look at this problem, I have a positive 7, I have a negative 6, a negative 4, and a negative 9. Okay? So I have 7 good guys. And if I count up all of my bad guys, 6 bad guys plus 4 bad guys is 10 bad guys. And the 10 bad guys plus another 9 bad guys gives me 19 bad guys. So now my problem becomes I have 7 good guys and 19 bad guys. All right, I have more bad guys. So my answer is going to have more bad guys. 7 good guys will take out 7 of those bad guys, and I'll have a negative 12 or 12 bad guys left. All right, so you have an option there. All right. Number 1 goes left to right strictly in that order. Number 2 groups good guys together and groups bad guys together, and then calculates the final answer. So I'm going to give you an opportunity here to try these on your own. So please pause the video, and then I'll go through the solutions once you're ready. Okay, so for number 1, I'm going to do this one, again, going left to right. So I'll do number 1 going left to right strictly, and number 2 I'll do by grouping, and you can kind of see both ways again. Okay, so 9 plus negative 3. 9 good guys, 3 bad guys, leaves me with 6 good guys. I'm going to write out the rest of the problem. And notice I have a minus and a negative there, so I'm going to make that to plus a positive. So the next part I'm going to do is 6 plus positive 4. Okay, 6 plus 4, 6 good guys, 4 more good guys. I have 10 good guys. Okay, if I add them all up. And then I have my minus 7, positive 5. The next part that I need to do is the 10 minus 7. Okay, 10 minus 7 we know is 3. And then I have my plus 5 at the end of the problem. So my final answer here is going to be 3 plus 5, or 8. Again, I suggest that you check it with your calculator just to make sure. Number 2, for this one I'm going to look at grouping all my positives together and all my negatives together. Now, when I look at this problem initially, I want to make sure that I take care of any minus and negatives that are right next to each other. So the only place I see a minus and a negative are at the end. So I'm going to make that into add the opposite. Okay, so now I'm going to go through and I have a negative 8, a negative 2, a negative 6, a negative 3, and only one positive 8. So I've got a positive 8. And then if I look at my negatives, a negative 8 and a negative 2, so 8 bad guys and 2 more bad guys gives me 10 bad guys. 10 bad guys with 6 more bad guys gives me 16 bad guys. 16 bad guys with 3 more bad guys gives me 19 bad guys. So it comes down to I have 8 good guys and 19 bad guys. Well, the positive 8 or 8 good guys will take out 8 of the bad guys. So my answer here is going to be negative 11 because I will have 11 bad guys left at the end. All right. Again, I strongly suggest that you check your answers with a calculator. All right. Show your work left to right, step by step, or show your work by grouping good guys and bad guys together. All right. If you have questions, I can help you out in class. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks.